What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be going over the charts. As usual, we're going to take a look at the Dow Jones, then the DXY, then, of course, Bitcoin. And at the end, I want to show you what our Tesla chart looks like. It's playing out beautifully. I do believe there is a possibility we could see a $50 Tesla in the future, possibly the next 6 months to a year, maybe even less. We'll see how fast this goes, but we're going to take a look at what we need to watch for in this market, the areas. Will we get another little fake pump up before our continuation to the downside? Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about the weekly RSI that people are calling bullish divergence. We're going to look at a prior one, see how that played out. So anyway, stick around for the whole video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Also, if you don't do anything else today, make sure you scroll down, smash that thumbs up. It only takes a second. I noticed tons of people are watching. Not a lot of people hitting the likes. Make sure you scroll down, smash that thumbs up. That's how you help the channel out. I do appreciate it. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And make sure your notification bells are ticked so you get notified when I post new videos, as my videos aren't always at the exact same time. So anyways, let's get into it, see where we're at. So looking at the Dow Jones, you guys know this blue line here. We've had this here since we broke it back in December, right? We've been watching this line, and I said if we get above this, then maybe Bitcoin can become bullish for a little while. As of right now, we're getting rejected right at it. So if we close above this 33,500, then we may get a pump up, and we'll talk about where that might be in Bitcoin. But otherwise, if we stay below that, I think we continue down. Let's take a look at what's going on. You guys know my big picture on the Dow. I'm pretty damn bearish on the Dow, along with everything else. Just take one look around. And if you're following people that are just watch the Bitcoin chart, be careful, guys, because Bitcoin is at the mercy of traditional markets. I don't care what anybody says. That is a fact. Risky assets are always at the mercy of the traditional markets, right? So if traditional markets are looking sketchy, big investors aren't investing in high risk assets. And believe it or not, Bitcoin is still a high risk asset. It was 69,000 a year ago, right? All right, let's take a look at where we're at. So the DXY getting our bounce on our green trend line here. And I showed you guys what my beliefs are. And I'm going to go out to the weekly so you can see this. See that green trend line where we're bouncing off of. If we go back into the 80s, we made the same move, right? We got rejected at the red trend line here, got our bounce at the green, and massive bullish move after that. I think we're going to see the same things. I've not changed my view on this since we broke this wedge way back here on the weekly. 122 is my next target for the DXY. I do think we'll probably get some rejection there. Once we get above that and get support, I think the 178 to 180 range is where the DXY is headed. Now let's take a look at the 4 hour. Get this RSI down a little bit. So at the 4 hour right now, we're getting a little pump. Obviously, we got back above our 0.236 trend line, Fibonacci, which is 16,775. Let's see if we got 14 minutes. Will we close above that? We'll see. And then we got our VPVR, it used to be called, at 16,855. Remember, I talked about this last week, this 200, or the beginning of the week, the 200 EMA. Watch for rejection there. We did get a spike above and rejected. If we can get support above this 16.9, and a lot's going to depend on what traditional markets do today, but if we get support there, our next stop for Bitcoin is going to be around that 17,085 zone. And then above that, we have our 0.5 fib, which is about 17,331. Then above that, we have our golden pocket. Could we get a huge spike up here to retest this trend line? That would be pretty crazy. But as you guys know, 17.5, 17.6 is the highest I see this going. But first, we have to get above this 200 EMA and hold support at 16.9. Otherwise, I think we flip over, come back down. You guys know my targets still from this rising channel, 16,132. And from this rising channel that we broke out of over here, 15.8. Still looking for those targets. I still think there's a damn good chance we get there. Of course, unless Friday pump on the stock markets, which I usually try to pump at the end of the day. But guys, be careful. Like I said, this is what we're watching, that 33,490 range. We are getting rejected at the blue line right there. So if we do get a rejection for the rest of the day, I think Bitcoin continues down without even getting that rally up. On the daily, so on the daily here, if we look at this high and then a lower high afterwards on the daily, and then we look at the RSI, we had a higher high here. That's hidden bearish divergence, continuation of the trend. The daily trend is down. Still looking bearish, guys. I know. Now, if we break this white trend line, that could change some stuff right here, right? And right now, that's about 17.6, right in that range. So if we get up there, come back down for a retest, maybe we can be bullish for a little while. But again, you guys know, if you watch the channel, you understand, I don't think we're going to see 20,000 again until possibly 2025. And I'll show you why in the charts before we get into Tesla. But as of right now, we had our measured move of this yellow triangle right here, descending triangle. The measured move of that is all the way down here about the 8,000. You guys know I think we're going to see a false bottom sometime in February or March, possibly around 75 to 8,500. I also showed you guys in my past videos that it could possibly go as low as like 6,500. But until something changes, and I'll let you know where the invalidation point is on the weekly chart, right? But as of right now, everything's still looking bearish here, guys. And if you take the, let me do this real quick. So we're on the daily chart, right? Let's hide these, let's hide all that and go down. Look at what's going on. All these people saying all kinds of crazy bullishness. There's literally nothing going on there, right? Let's zoom into the daily. We have been in a tiny range of from 18.4 to 15.4. So $3,000 move in what, since we hit the low here in November, right? So almost 3 months. Guys, this is getting very tight. I think we're going to see a huge move, and I do not think the move is going to be up. Let's look at this as a wedge just for giggles, right? So if we were to go off this bottom low over here and this low over here, that would get us around our 14.8 target. We've had that target forever too. I still believe we hit that. That's from a weekly target. But anyways, let's get into the rest. We're going to go into the weekly. I'm going to show you where my invalidation point is on all this. Don't forget to smash the likes, guys. Share the video if you would, if you enjoy the content. Let's take a look at Prime XBT. Definitely check them out if you are interested in trading. By far my favorite exchange. I don't trade against you. You don't get all the scam wicks like you get in all the other ones. And you can trade crypto, Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones. I have a link down below. I also have a tutorial on my YouTube page you can check out. And you use my promo code SAVVY50 will get you up to a $7,000 bonus. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. Also, check out my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. Link is also below. Let's get into the rest. This is the weekly. As you guys know, I drew this in back in October, what I thought it might look like. And here it is. Seems to be playing out beautifully. If we look at the weekly 8 EMA, and that's about 17,120 area. If we get support on that in the weekly, then maybe we continue up. Also, what I want to talk about is the weekly RSI right here, right? So we had, compared on the Amazon chart, we had a little wick above and then come back down right here, just like in Amazon. Now, if this weekly closes above this trend line, then we could have seen our false bottom and we still have one more low to make, right? But let's keep an eye on this weekly RSI. So last week, it closed right here under the trend line, right? The RSI follows the body of the candle, not the wick. Not the wick. Doesn't matter where the wick goes. Where this closes, when the body closes, if it closes below this trend line, we continue down and still haven't hit our false bottom. Like I said, I believe our false bottom is going to be in February or March. This weekly close could change it. It could say we had our false bottom. I doubt it, but we'll take a look at some other charts and see what they're telling us. So let's get back to this. So this is still what I think we'll most likely see is February or March, get our false bottom, get a rally up into April or May, maybe even back up to this range, 14 to 15,000, then continuation down. Ultimate low being in September, October 2023, this year, the end of the year, right? And this is my Bitcoin compared to Amazon. Same thing. Like I said, here's that weekly RSI. Once we break that weekly RSI and get a rally, it'll be a pretty decent rally. So if we close this weekly above there, over here, it may be a good time to get in, but I don't think we're going to do that. I still think we get rejected here. I drew this in a long time ago. Once we break this, then we can consider that a false bottom. If we close our weekly above that trend line, you know, might be a good time to get into a long or buy. But if we close below, we just continue down. Like I said, this is where I think we go. It could go as low as 6,500. And I showed that a few times. Let me go back over. Well, first, what will invalidate the weekly? I always forget to talk about this in every video, right? If you guys have questions, if you follow this channel, you'll have a lot less questions, because a lot of the questions that I get in the comment section below have already been answered for a straight year. I don't change my opinion unless the invalidation points are broken. A lot of people are just bullish one day, bearish the next. We're going to new all-time highs one day. We're going to new lows the next day. They're just all over wishy-washy. If you want a daily dose of reality, subscribe to this channel. We take a calm look at the markets. The markets aren't going to jump up and go to 100,000 in a week. You're not going to miss out on the biggest opportunity of a lifetime because you didn't buy down here. Right here is the 55 EMA. That's at about 26, right around 26.2. If we get above that before going to these lows, then, you know, the bottom could be in, right? But see, this is continuing down. As long as, even if we go sideways, this will still continue down here. Just like over here, right? This is a macro bear market, guys. It's going to have a macro bottom. It's not going to be to the bottom and then shoot straight up like we did over here. That was a false bottom, right? Back up. We're going to have time, right? Unless we cross this, I'm not buying any long-term position in Bitcoin unless we cross this 55 EMA on the weekly, right? You can see over here, once we cross, we did go back below, but once we cross, it was a good time to buy and get in, right? Now, what I think this is going to look like, this is my 10-year plan, unless we break that 55 before hitting these lows. But you can see this down here, this inverse head and shoulders, that's a macro bottom. This is not a macro bottom, guys. I think this is my 10-year plan, unless we break that 55 EMA before hitting these lows, right? So 35 to 4,500 by the September, October this year, rally up to 35 to 45,000, 2025, 2028, back down to 15 to 25,000, 2029, back to 55 to 65K, back down. This took 10 years for Amazon to break the all-time high. So far, this market structure, I don't care if this was Google, or if this was a pet rock, or if this was Nike, whatever. It's a market structure. I don't care what the asset is. This structure is playing out almost identical. Just like if you find you're watching on one chart and you find a triangle, right? And your measured move off that triangle is going to be the same, even if you are on a 4-hour on one chart and then go over to a weekly on another chart, find the triangle. The measured moves are going to be the same, right? Same type deal. That's a market structure. Now, this is a complex market structure that is playing out absolutely perfect. Unless we break this 55 EMA before hitting lower lows, right? So it could be 10 years till we see a new all-time high. Now, this is why I say we may not see 20,000 again until 2025. If you look here, this is the Amazon chart right here. Weekly, same time frame, same everything. Put it on top of the Bitcoin chart right here. We even had this ABC here that we had talked about way before it happened. Once we broke down over here, I called this top at 64,000. I called it about a month ahead of time, maybe even more. I think it might have been a month and a half. Called the 64 top way before it happened. Then I said we would get an ABC correction to the upside. I didn't think it'd break this high, which it did, but it was still just an ABC, right? And then crash to lower lows, which is happening. Now, if it's to play out like the Amazon, here would be 20,000, this line. It would be 2025 until we break that line. Again, if we break that 55 EMA, that changes everything. But as of right now, still playing out, guys. Now, Tesla. I showed this chart about 2 months ago. We put it up, maybe even longer. You can check my videos. I actually put it in the headlines. But could we see a $50 Tesla? I do believe so. And this is why. So we've had these targets since we broke up here. So this would have been, we drew this on this bounce in June. And I'd said once we broke this 235, which happened in October, next stop was 211. Stop after that, 183. And each time one of these are broke, you go to the next level. Well, we broke 106, and right now we're testing it, right? We're playing around in this area just like we did up here. We may get a little above it, but it's still resistance. 49 bucks, dude. That's where I see us possibly heading. Put this down here, and then we'll see what the market's doing if we do get down to this level and see if we have lower to go. But that's my next target for Tesla, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash a like. If you guys didn't enjoy the video, make sure you smash a like. Also, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think of the video in the comments below. Do you think Bitcoin's going to get one last little pump up before crashing down? Or do you think just too many people are expecting that and it's just going to crash down and leave them hanging? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, guys. Share the video. I'm out.